Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. Now in this project we're going to use lots of Anna Griffin goodies, but we're also going to get a little bit more out of our rubber stamps. You might have just watched a how-to guide on how to make the background that we're going to use on this card. So we used a rubber stamp to make this pattern from one of Anna's sentiment and die stamp sets. Very easy to create and it gives a great effect, as you'll see from this project. Everything I use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog. Please check there. If you've got any questions or queries, I can reply to you on my blog or on Facebook, but I can't reply to you on YouTube. I'm still getting a few questions from people on YouTube and I reply to you, but my replies disappear. So if you want a full answer, go to my blog or Facebook. And also, just for my UK viewers, the 30th of May this year at noon, it's 2018, Anna will be on QVC UK. So please tune in and watch, because obviously she will be there with all her gorgeousness. So please tune in. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need is our base card. Now this is a 6x6 card, and on my cardometer it is a true 6x6 size. Well, hey, so it's looking just like that. You can see my cardometer starts at the 8x8, 7x7, and then the size that we're going to work with is the 6x6. It's just a blank white card. And I'm going to use my bone folder from Anna's Essential Tool Set to make sure I've got a nice crisp edge along the side, so it stands up nicely and it looks professional. So we're going to turn our attention to the inside first, as always, to make them nice and pretty, because we spend so much time doing the outsides. Why shouldn't we do a little bit to the inside as well? So on the demonstration previously, where I've rubber stamped, you saw me make this background using Anna's sentiment stamp and die set. And for anyone wondering, it is this stamp that I've used. I've used it in a different way to using it for a sentiment, and we've stamped around the edge. And then I've inked it in a buttermilk colour, just to tone it in and tone the black down a little bit. But we want it to jump out, we want that effect. I've got double-sided flat tape on the back, and I'm simply going to peel away the tape, and then I can add this to the centre of my card. Now this is going to match perfectly to the outside of our card. So we'll press that down. And next what I've done is I've actually stamped the sentiment as it is supposed to be stamped, the sentiment frame should I say, and then I've stamped a sentiment as well on a red card. So the sentiment frame again on white cardstock, and I've just tinted it with a little bit of ink, and then I've stamped the sentiment and used one of the smaller dies in the set to cut it out. And then I've taken both of these things through my Xyron machine to be able to add the adhesive on the back, and I'm simply going to position the sentiment frame through the centre, and then I'm going to add the sentiment itself on top of the actual frame. There we go. And press that down. Now that's the inside of our card finished. There's enough room for a little message and for your to and your from. Very, very pretty, very ornate. Now we can go to the front of our card, and I'm just going to use my bone folder again to make sure we've still got that nice sharp edge. Now the first layer for the front of our card is just a plain black layer that I've cut to fit, and eagle-eyed viewers will see I've put a big arrow so I know which is the top, even though it's a plain layer and I've cut it to fit. I wanted to make sure I get it the right way around. So we can position that through the centre of our card and press down. Next, I've stamped the sentiment frame twice onto red card, and then I've die cut it, and then I've taken it through one of the embossing folders in the Paper Tricks 2 set from Anna. Now, the embossing folder that I've used is the one for the fan fold, and it's got all the little lines and ridges on that you would use it to make the folds for the fans and the concertinas and the rosettes. So I've taken it through, and I've taken it through twice for each one, and then I've cut them in half. So it's quite simple. Stamp the frame and then take it through the embossing folder and then cut them in half. So now I'm going to start arranging these on my card, and I'm going to go for the centre at the bottom first, and I'm just going to stick it down in the middle. Now these are going to look a little bit odd to begin with, but don't panic, there's method in my madness. And I'm going to go right the way around the edge of the card, adding them through the centre. And I know there's a little bit of gap at the sides, but don't worry, it'll all become apparent in the end. So, because I wanted you to see the method behind it, and this is why I wanted you to see the stamping of how I've made the background, because then you'll think, oh, that really is easy to put together and something a bit different. So that's the last one I'm putting on. Now, we're not looking to match these corners, so don't be thinking, oh, they have to marry up. What we're looking for is this bit here at the edge. So I'll just check I've got my card the right way around. There we go. And I can press those down nice and firmly. So now we can add our next layer, and this is the layer that we cut out, that we've stamped, that you'll have seen in the little how-to guide, and it's going to go over the top of the half sentiments that we've just added. And now it'll all fall into place and you'll all be, oh, I see now. So the dips that we've cut stand out against the background of the stamped image that we've just created for the layer. See how it all kind of goes together now? So next we have a layer of flock that I've cut to fit as a square inside the actual pattern. And again, I've got double-sided tape on the back of this, and this is just going to fit nicely between the actual ornate frame sections, like that. There we go. Next, I've taken the sentiment frame and stamped it plainly as it is, shall we say, and I've just tinted the cardstock with buttermilk again. There we go. Now at this stage, because we're going on to flock, I'm just going to add a little bit of my glossy accents, because sometimes things stick on flock and sometimes they don't. So I'm just going to position this frame over the top through the centre of our card like that. So you can see we've got all our layers on. They're all flat layers at the moment, and the pattern looks brilliant. So next I'm going to add 2 flower stickers. Now these flowers are from the Pretty Paintings kit. I really do like these flowers. I've used them on so many different projects, but I just can't help myself. They're so pretty. And they work either way round. So I'm going to position one flower at one side, and then I'm going to position the other flower at the other side. Again, just a little bit of glue because we're going onto the flock. So pop that one at that side. There we go. Like that. And then I've got a sentiment that I've stamped again from the Sentiment Stamp and Die set from Anna, and I can pop that through the centre of our frame and press that down, hoping I've got that on a little bit straight. And then I'm going to finish the card off with a little ivory bow underneath the sentiment, like so. There we go. And that's our card finished. And I think the stamping makes the background stand out so well. It matches perfectly to the inside. It's so ornate and pretty. It stands up nicely. You're not going to need any extra padding because the only, well, 3Dness, shall we call it, is from the flowers and from the bow. So you've only got one foam pad depth. And anybody who receives that will definitely pop that on the mantelpiece. It's such a pretty card. And I love the stamping idea. I really like to utilise the stamps that I get because I like to make sure that I can use them in more than one way, because I think that's when we know that we're getting, shall we say, no, I was going to say value for money, but we're thinking outside the box with things. So, and I think that looks, it could be adapted in so many different colours, and I just think it looks great. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up. Please comment on Facebook or on my blog. And you can still comment on YouTube, I just can't reply to you on YouTube. And I hope you enjoy my videos. I love hearing from you, and I've had some great messages. And I want to give a big shout out to Judy, who I've just heard from, and sending all my love to Judy. And also Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for your message. So, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.